Making change happen for technologists. We're all dealing with change in the business world, whether we like it or not. Mostly, we don't like it, even if we like to think we are bright and open-minded. In the past few years, digital transformation has really taken hold as companies grapple with their future and the nature of competitors. New entrants disrupt existing markets, and smart incumbents reinvent themselves to get to the next level of market share growth. It's not enough for leadership to have a nice set of slides from expensive management consultants that tell them what steps are needed in order to transform, and chances are they told the exact same thing to the previous client. Technology leaders, whether CTO, a cross-functional product owner, down to a team-level tech lead, all know too well that it's not possible to just churn out a new software product that will turn the business into a modern, industry-leading organization. In my own career, as a technology leader in financial markets, I've always worked closely with the business sponsors to identify goals for the markets we're going to pursue, and then work backwards as to the practical changes needed to address those goals. With increasing regulation and a growing desire from clients to trade financial instruments such as currencies and equities fully electronically, this is still having profound implications on the end-to-end business flows. Coding is not the hardest part of delivering a successful product. Getting agreement on the right outcomes and scope is where the magic happens. When everyone is working across teams and functions to the same shared goal, morale is high, people are accommodating, and creative solutions to problems flourish. It is worth reminding ourselves of great business thinkers who have seen these challenges in prior eras. In his famous 1996 book, Leading Change, John Kotter describes 8 steps that are as relevant today as then for managing major change. Establish a sense of urgency, create the guiding coalition, develop a vision and strategy, communicate the change vision, empower broad-based action, generate short-term wins, consolidate gains and produce more change, and finally anchor new approaches in the culture. This sense of urgency can come from an existential threat in the external market and its evolution, or new entrants bringing true disruption. A good example cited by Clayton M. Christensen in his excellent book, The Innovator's Dilemma, concerns the disk drive industry. As new markets developed in the 90s for laptops and mobile phones, flash memory, solid-state memory that's able to store data even when its power is off and has no moving parts, unlike traditional magnetic disk storage, came into its own. And yet, the incumbent disk drive makers were pouring their efforts into making ever larger magnetic disk storage technology to satisfy their premium customers. Eventually, hard disk makers chasing larger storage sizes vacated the smaller end of the market that flash then dominated. See firms like SanDisk. Incumbents such as Seagate and Quantum were unable to make a dent in the flash storage market. Their sense of urgency about this disruptive technology came too late. The guiding coalition to enable change implementation, to me, is key. This is the tone from the top that helps to unify all those involved and keep everyone focused and unified on the goals. If the message of what is needing to be done gets muddled, then things can unravel pretty quickly. I remember being involved in a business spin-off several years ago as a technology consultant. The leadership had clearly defined what this would look like and aligned everyone around a company legal day one, which was a date in the calendar that people swarmed around as a goal to make happen. Some people think Agile cannot work when there are hard deadlines, but I've done it many times over. And when you know what needs to be done and can estimate the work effort, then you can predict what can be done by when. We also have more latitude to deal with scope than we think. So If something isn't absolutely necessary, then it can be cut out or reduced. In the case of that legal day one, guess what? It happened in clear incremental steps as planned and was very successful and still is a thriving business. Yes, these are functionally complex matters, but the vision was simple and everyone could pull in the same direction with this shared outcome. We can get into managing scope, backlogs, and general product ownership in upcoming videos, but my point here in this brief session is that being united around a vision of what needs to be done and having it backed by the top leadership puts you on a strong footing. There is nothing worse, and I've been here myself, than working in an environment where you have no clearly defined vision and a woolly strategy that nobody believes in, and worse, that people simply follow what has been presented without questioning. This is where mindlessly conforming to the market and the competition without challenging the value of what is being copied can lead to disaster. This is excellently explored by Mats Alves and Andre Spicer in their book The Stupidity Paradox. Executives are often very uncertain, groping to know what makes a company successful. To deal with uncertainty, they often simply look at what other successful firms are doing and try to do the same. For instance, many companies conclude that they need to be more innovative. I tend to encourage technology leaders to be the squeaky wheel and ask what the commercial value of a feature or change actually is, especially if it isn't obvious. We are part of the business after all, not some slavish service provider. Please think about that. We'll also explore in an upcoming video what clearly defined features look like so that all stakeholders can agree on them. It makes it a lot easier in sprint demos to show people what they knew they were asking for because the outcomes have been clearly stated in everyday language. So to wrap this up, clear strategy supported from the top and consciously communicated to everyone leads to great morale across teams. With everyone focused on the same outcome, delivered incrementally, they can jointly share in the success. This is how an organization thrives, by keeping the vision simple and achievable, even when reaching for the stars.